Every day, we see the darker side of the world around us. We witness how people can hurt others in ways that are hard to understand. It's a sad part of life, but it's something we can't ignore. As someone who dives into the world of crime, I'm here to share the most shocking stories and try to understand what drives people to do such things. I'm Michael, and today, I've got another unreal true crime story for you. It was supposed to be a quiet night in a peaceful neighborhood, but everything changed when a woman, bleeding from her forehead and with duct tape on her hands, showed up at her neighbor's door, pounding and screaming for help. "Someone's in my house," she cried. "My husband is dead." When the police arrived, they found the house in complete chaos. Furniture was overturned, things were missing, and in the bathroom, they discovered a man's lifeless body, his hands tied behind his back. At first, it seemed like a robbery gone wrong, but as investigators dug deeper, they uncovered secrets of betrayal and obsession, leading to a plan so shocking it left everyone stunned. What really happened that night? The truth was darker than anyone could have imagined. Angel Marie Wilson was born in 1973 in the United States and grew up in Sterling Park, Virginia. She attended Parkview High School, and while much of her early life remains private, she later married and had 4 children into the world: 2 daughters, Michaela and Victoria, and 2 sons, Aaron and Benjamin. Unfortunately, their union ended in separation, and while the divorce was still being finalized, Angel's life took a new direction. In 2011, while dropping her children off at school, Angel met Milton Henry Sawyer, a man whose children also attended the same institution. Milton, born on July 9, 1963, in North Carolina, was the son of Doris and Henry Sawyer and had a sister, 3 brothers, and a half-brother. Milton excelled academically, earning degrees in mathematics and computer science from the University of North Carolina. After graduating, he worked managing university data, but ultimately sought a career that aligned more closely with his interests. Milton had long been passionate about antiques and collectibles. Turning that passion into a livelihood, he established a successful pawn shop and antique store called the Counter of Stranger, which focused on collectibles and precious metals. The shop was conveniently located just 3 miles from his home. Although Milton was married and had 3 children, his personal life grew complicated, and a later extramarital relationship resulted in a 4th child. The divorce that followed was amicable, allowing Milton to move forward. Despite their 10-year age difference, Angel and Milton began a relationship and married in 2012. Angel adopted her husband's last name, becoming Angel Sawyer, and together they created a blended family of 7 children. Angel also became actively involved in Milton's business. The store was renamed Treasure Hunter, and Angel took the lead in reorganizing the inventory to enhance its appeal to customers. Her efforts, including revising prices and creating a more customer-friendly layout, were highly appreciated by Milton. For the next 6 years, their lives seemed idyllic. As the older children moved out, the family home eventually housed just the couple and their 2 youngest daughters. In 2017, Angel experienced a minor car accident that left her with lingering pain in her shoulder and hip. After consulting several doctors without finding relief, she was referred to Isaac Melcher, a practitioner of dry needling. This alternative therapy, similar to acupuncture but focused on muscles and tissues, offered a glimmer of hope for Angel, who was growing frustrated with traditional treatments. In the fall of 2017, Angel began her sessions with Isaac. The early appointments were professional, with their conversations centered on her treatment and general topics. Isaac recommended a plan involving 2 to 3 sessions per week, and Angel agreed, hoping to find relief from her persistent pain. As time went on, Angel's sessions with Isaac became increasingly personal. She began to confide in him about issues in her marriage, painting a picture of her life as one of restriction and control. She claimed her husband, Milton, was domineering, focused solely on work and their home. According to Angel, he didn't allow her to spend time with friends or even attend church alone because he didn't want her around other men. Ironically, she also described him as distant and uninterested, alleging that even if she were naked beside him, he wouldn't pay her any attention. Her revelations grew darker as she recounted episodes of emotional abuse, saying Milton often shouted at her, causing severe anxiety that left her vomiting or suffering panic attacks. These complaints fostered a bond between Angel and Isaac. Though Isaac was married and deeply religious, he couldn't ignore the growing connection he felt to this vulnerable and seemingly misunderstood woman. Angel's behavior became more suggestive, and in December 2017, she sent him a bold message offering to share a photo of herself naked in a jacuzzi. Despite knowing the risks, Isaac couldn't resist and accepted her offer. This marked the beginning of an illicit affair. Their first date was fraught with hesitation, as Isaac expressed concerns about jeopardizing his career and his marriage. Angel appeared understanding and even offered to stop pursuing the relationship. However, during her next therapy session, she disrobed in front of him, breaking down his final reservations. The affair intensified, with the pair communicating through private messaging platforms and meeting regularly at the clinic under the guise of therapy sessions. By late 2017, their meetings occurred 3 to 5 times a week. In January 2018, their affair hit a snag. Milton began suspecting that Angel's therapy sessions were more than professional. Angel informed Isaac she could no longer attend his clinic. Isaac took this as a sign to end the relationship, but Angel pleaded, claiming she couldn't live without him and even hinting at suicidal thoughts. Whether genuine or manipulative, her words convinced Isaac to continue their affair. By April, Angel had persuaded Milton to allow her to return to therapy, claiming it was necessary for her health. Though the therapy sessions were short-lived, the affair continued in secret. Angel frequently expressed fears of what Milton might do if he discovered their betrayal, adding to the tension between the lovers. It was clear Milton had strong suspicions, but matters escalated over Memorial Day weekend when the two families coincidentally crossed paths at Jeanette's Pier, a popular fishing spot. Milton was visibly displeased to see Isaac there, and the encounter was equally uncomfortable for Isaac, though nothing transpired at the time. A few days later, one of Angel's daughters called Isaac's employer to warn them that Milton planned to confront Isaac at the clinic. The clinic's management, fearing a confrontation, contacted the Elizabeth City Police. Officers were sent to speak with Milton, advising him to avoid Isaac's workplace. Following this, Isaac reached out to Angel to check on her safety, worried Milton might have harmed her. Angel reassured him, saying nothing had happened, yet. In June, Isaac's growing fear for Angel's safety reached a breaking point when he suddenly lost contact with her through their usual social media channel. After days of anxious attempts, he finally managed to speak with her over the phone. However, their conversation brought him no comfort. Angel explained that Milton had taken her phone, leaving her unsure if they could continue their communication or their relationship. By the end of June, Isaac was spiraling. Consumed by his obsession with Angel, he contemplated leaving his wife and their 3 young children to be with her. His thoughts were consumed with rescuing her from the supposed danger Milton posed. Angel confided that she was terrified of her husband and planned to move to Florida as soon as her daughters left for college. To Isaac, the idea of Angel leaving was unbearable, so he offered to find a safe place where they could continue their relationship away from Milton, whose suspicions of infidelity had grown. Though Angel repeatedly denied the accusations, Milton remained unconvinced. At some point, Milton even confronted Isaac at his clinic. Isaac firmly denied any relationship beyond professionalism, but tensions remained high. Everything came to a head in the early hours of August 2nd, 2018. A bloodied and frantic Angel appeared at a neighbor's door, pounding desperately. When the neighbor opened the door, they found Angel screaming hysterically, blood streaming from a gash on her forehead. Her hands bore remnants of electrical tape, and she appeared utterly terrified. Between sobs, Angel managed to say that someone had broken into her home and that her husband was dead. Alarmed, the neighbor immediately called 911. Emergency responders arrived quickly, tending to Angel's wound and carefully removing the tape from her hands for forensic analysis. After providing basic first aid, they transported her to the nearest hospital for further evaluation, while sheriff's deputies headed to the Sawyer residence to investigate her claims. At the house, the front door was locked, but the back door was ajar. The deputies entered and initially found nothing unusual. However, upon reaching the master bedroom, the scene shifted dramatically. The room was in complete disarray, clothes strewn across the floor, furniture overturned, and drawers emptied as though someone had been frantically searching for something. But the most disturbing discovery awaited in the bathroom, where Milton, 55, lay face down, his hands bound behind his back with electrical tape. He showed no signs of life. Milton's body exhibited early signs of rigor mortis, and no visible wounds indicated the cause of death. Bloodstains in the bedroom hinted at a struggle, and it initially appeared that a robbery had gone tragically wrong. However, a closer inspection of the house revealed strange details, such as the back door key left conspicuously on an outdoor table, a glaring oversight for any intruder. While crime scene investigators began processing the house and Milton's body was transported to the coroner's office, deputies headed to the hospital to speak with Angel. According to her account, only she and Milton had been home that night, as their daughters were staying with friends. She said she and Milton had been in their bedroom watching TV when she decided to fetch some snacks from the kitchen. As she opened the bedroom door, she came face to face with an armed intruder, dressed entirely in black and wearing a mask that concealed everything but his eyes. Angel described how the intruder, wielding what she identified as a long-barreled handgun, shouted at her to get on the floor. He cursed repeatedly, demanding money and valuables, claiming he knew they owned the treasure hunting store and dealt in gold. The man forced Milton into the bathroom, ordered him to lie face down, and bound his hands with electrical tape. He then turned his attention to Angel, striking her in the head and rendering her unconscious. When Angel regained consciousness, she struggled to free herself from the tape. Once she managed to free one hand, she attempted to revive Milton, but he was unresponsive. Panicked, she fled the house and sought help from the nearest neighbor. In the days following Milton's death, the investigation progressed rapidly. Preliminary autopsy results revealed that Milton had died from asphyxia caused by neck compression. Investigators also confirmed that the intruder had entered through the back door, using a key that had been left conspicuously in plain sight. With this information, Angel was called back to the police station for further questioning. During this interview, she reiterated that Milton was a jealous man who didn't allow her to go anywhere alone. She explained that she spent most of her time at home with the children and relied on Milton for anything they needed. However, detectives were more interested in understanding why the backdoor key had been left so visibly accessible, particularly since the intruder bypassed the front door entirely, a detail unusual in cases like this. Angel explained that they had several children who frequently lost their keys, so leaving the back door key in an obvious spot had become their solution. She recounted the night of the incident, claiming that when she opened the bedroom door, she was confronted by the masked intruder. According to Angel, she was naked at the time and, fearing for her safety, grabbed one of Milton's shirts before complying with the man's order to lie on the floor. She said both she and Milton cooperated with the intruder's demands. The attacker tied their hands and demanded cash, jewelry, and the keys to their store, where he believed gold was kept. Angel struggled to explain how the intruder managed to subdue and move Milton, a man over 6 feet tall and weighing around 220 pounds. At one point, she said she tried to escape but was thrown to the ground, hitting her head on the edge of a table. She also claimed the intruder dropped his phone during the chaos. After helping him retrieve it, the man supposedly thanked God, took the phone, and left. Angel recounted how she freed one hand from her bindings, attempted unsuccessfully to wake Milton, vomited out of shock, and then sought help from a neighbor. Investigators questioned Angel multiple times, and during one session, she suggested a possible suspect, a man named Dylan, who had frequently sold stolen goods to their store. However, police quickly ruled him out as he was in custody at the time of the incident. The investigation took a dramatic turn when one of Milton's sons mentioned Isaac, Angel's therapist. He revealed that Milton suspected Angel and Isaac had a relationship beyond the professional, leading to significant arguments in the marriage. When questioned, Angel claimed Isaac had once been her therapist, but alleged he later harassed her with messages from fake accounts after she blocked him. With Isaac now on their radar, detectives visited him. Isaac denied any romantic involvement with Angel, but when asked to voluntarily surrender his cell phone, he claimed it had been damaged by spilled water and discarded. He said he had purchased a new device the same night of Milton's death from a convenience store, but had no receipt to prove it. When investigators checked the store, there was no record of such a purchase or any surveillance footage showing Isaac at the location. Detectives obtained a warrant to search Isaac's home, only to find that he had left for Oregon to visit his mother. His wife and children were also reportedly out of town. Meanwhile, Angel informed investigators that she had received a message from Isaac via a social media platform and handed over her phone. However, when police reviewed her phone, they found not only the message she mentioned, but also a series of exchanges that clearly indicated a romantic relationship between her and Isaac. Confronted with this evidence, Angel deleted the messages in front of the detectives, instantly raising suspicion against her. Isaac's conscience, however, was weighing heavily on him. While in Oregon, he reportedly confessed his actions to his mother. Encouraged by her advice, he also confessed to his pastor. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, the pastor contacted the sheriff's office handling the case. Detectives traveled to Oregon to interview the pastor, who agreed to help. At their request, he called Isaac to discuss the case, using a secure call application as requested by Isaac. Unbeknownst to Isaac, police were with the pastor, listening to the conversation on speakerphone. After exchanging pleasantries, which included Isaac's wife participating briefly, the pastor shifted the conversation to the subject at hand. He asked Isaac why Angel didn't simply divorce Milton. Isaac explained that Angel believed Milton would kill her if she tried to leave him. Driven by his love for her, Isaac admitted to abandoning his religious convictions and taking action. Isaac confessed that Angel knew more about the situation than she let on, but was aware that speaking up would implicate her, leading to her arrest and prosecution for conspiracy to commit murder. He also revealed that they were still in contact. This revelation gave police enough evidence to issue a warrant for Isaac's arrest. His confession also opened the door for investigators to question Angel again. Initially, Angel denied everything. Later, she admitted that during the supposed home invasion, she recognized the intruder as Isaac but claimed she didn't reveal this earlier out of fear he would harm her as well. Angel maintained she had no knowledge of Isaac's plans, didn't provide him information about the night she and Milton would be alone, and didn't make the backdoor key accessible. However, it became clear that Angel knew the attacker was her lover. Though she initially claimed Isaac had harassed her, she eventually admitted to having a physical relationship with him, first claiming it happened twice, then 3 times, justifying it as a moment of weakness during a rough patch in her marriage. Yet, in another part of the interrogation, she claimed her relationship with Milton had been so strong in the 6 months prior that they were intimate nearly every day of the week. Angel alleged that Isaac pressured her to crush medication into Milton's food or drinks to kill him, even giving her a script of what to tell the police afterward. She claimed Isaac threatened her and her children if she didn't comply, though she insisted she never followed through with his demands. Her narrative was met with skepticism, and by late August, Angel was also arrested. On August 27th, a grand jury indicted both Isaac and Angel on first-degree murder charges. In February 2020, Angel faced an additional charge of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Isaac's wife stated that she only learned of the betrayal the night Isaac confessed everything. He even told her that if he somehow avoided prison, he planned to build a life with Angel. She chose not to testify against her husband, exercising her legal right as his spouse. Meanwhile, the community mourned the loss of Milton, a respected and beloved figure. People placed flowers and tributes at the door of his store, Treasure Hunter. Financially strained due to the ongoing investigation, Milton's family was forced to organize a fundraiser to cover funeral and burial expenses. Thankfully, the community's generosity allowed them to give Milton a proper farewell. As the case moved toward trial, Isaac, 38, and Angel, 45, remained in custody without bail. Despite the gravity of their actions and the looming consequences, the pair continued their relationship by sending coded messages referencing love through Bible verses. By October 2020, Isaac, convinced that Milton's family deserved the truth, agreed to speak with police and detail Angel's involvement in the crime. He handed over a blanket, a bottle of lotion, and a perfume bottle Angel had given him, along with the keys taken on the night of the murder. In his confession, Isaac admitted he felt manipulated and foolish, realizing that sacrificing everything for Angel wasn't worth it. Seeking closure, he decided to testify against her. Isaac revealed that Angel convinced him she couldn't leave her marriage because Milton would hunt her down and kill her and Isaac. He recounted how he tried to persuade her otherwise, promising to protect her from Milton, but Angel insisted the only way out of her marriage was through Milton's death. Blinded by love, Isaac eventually agreed. According to Isaac's confession, they initially considered mixing high doses of Milton's medication with alcohol to stage an overdose. In fact, Angel had once mixed pills into Milton's beer, causing him to sleep deeply until the following afternoon. However, they ultimately abandoned this plan for the more direct and brutal method that ended Milton's life. After her failed attempts to poison Milton, Angel insisted that staging a robbery gone wrong was the best option to eliminate her husband. Isaac, however, felt uneasy about the plan, fearing that such a scheme would inevitably draw police attention. Despite his reservations, he continued to communicate with Angel through the secret conversation feature of a social media platform, an account Angel had set up because she suspected Milton had hacked her primary account. In late July 2018, communication between Isaac and Angel became increasingly difficult. To resolve this, Isaac bought Angel a phone and, as agreed, left it hidden under some cushions on her back patio. Angel, in turn, left him a bag containing her lotion, perfume, and a blanket, items Isaac later handed over to the police as evidence. Isaac confessed there was never a fixed date for executing the plan, as it depended on the absence of Angel and Milton's daughters from the house. He waited for Angel to alert him when the opportunity arose. However, on August 1, 2018, Isaac noticed unusual activity on their social media account and feared that Milton might have accessed their private conversations, exposing their plan. Convinced that Angel was in danger, Isaac decided to act immediately. That night, Isaac prepared a bag containing duct tape, anxiety medication, small bottles of alcohol, and a handgun, from which he removed the bullets, believing the sight of the weapon would be enough to subdue Milton. Around midnight, he arrived at the Sawyer home, found the back door key where Angel had indicated, and entered. Following voices to the bedroom, he was about to knock when Angel opened the door. With no way to turn back, Isaac proceeded with the plan. Isaac entered the room, pointed the gun at Milton, and ordered him into the bathroom. There, he bound Milton's hands behind his back, put him in a chokehold, and applied pressure to his carotid arteries until Milton passed out. To ensure he was dead, Isaac tightened the hold. Angel checked Milton's pulse and confirmed he had died. Together, they staged the scene to resemble a robbery. They took money from Milton's nightstand, emptied Angel's jewelry box, and ransacked the room. At Angel's request, Isaac tied her hands with duct tape and struck her to make the scene more convincing. Unsatisfied with the injury, Angel slammed her own head against a surface, causing the wound on her forehead. Isaac then left, leaving Angel to carry out the remainder of the plan. The rest of the story unfolded as previously reported. The trial for both accused began in September 2021 at the County Superior Court. Angel's defense team moved to dismiss the charges, citing insufficient evidence, but the motion was denied. Angel refused to testify during the proceedings, while Isaac took the stand, providing a detailed account of the events. His testimony was crucial to the case, but Angel's defense sought to discredit him, arguing that he was an unreliable witness motivated by a desire to reduce his sentence. After less than 30 minutes of deliberation, the jury returned a unanimous guilty verdict for both defendants on all charges related to the murder of Milton. Angel was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Isaac was sentenced to 20 years in prison, with a release date set for 2042. Angel appealed her conviction, but in March 2023, her appeal was denied. While she retains the option to petition a higher court, it is highly likely that Angel will spend the rest of her life in prison. Thanks for tuning in to Unreal True Crime. If you're intrigued by mysteries from around the world, check out our new channel, Latin Crimes, where we dive into the gripping true crime stories of Latin America. Don't miss out. Subscribe now for more thrilling investigations.